Let's try that again. Good evening, Mayor, Council, members of the Upland community. As everyone knows, the very mention of homelessness invokes a myriad of emotions and responses, from concern, pity, to anger and frustration. And there's no secret that the city of Upland does have its share of homelessness. But what I want to talk about tonight is what we're doing to address those issues, what exactly the issues are that we're facing, and some of our collaborative efforts surrounding the issue. The first thing we have to understand is that the issue of homelessness isn't isolated to the city of Upland. This is a problem affecting our nation. And right now, in the United States, or as of 2017, the last full count, there was 553,742 homeless, and that's the total number. And as you can see, if you can see the graphic, homeless are categorized into two primary categories, and that's sheltered and unsheltered. The sheltered homeless are those who are being benefited by daytime shelters or other placement centers. Those unsheltered people are the ones who are living on the streets, the ones that we see when we're driving up and down our roadways. When we look at homelessness by state, California is surpassing all states in the number of homeless that we have. 134,000 as of 2017, for a total of 68% that are unsheltered. And that number for that 68% is 91,000. When we look at the increases that have occurred, a lot of people remark that it seems like homelessness has increased, specifically in Upland. Well, I can say this. It has increased in our state, probably quicker, well, factually quicker than any other state. Our single-year increase in California was 13.7% for a numerical value of 16,000. As you can see, the 10-year increase for some of the other states, like New York, was 43%. So we can easily see that if California keeps trending the way it did in its single-year increase, that this problem will continue to grow by epic proportions. But now let's talk about what we've been doing and what we plan to continue doing. This is a problem that is not one that can be easily or individually overcome by police action or by social services. This is going to take a collaborative approach. This is a social problem. It's not exclusively a criminal problem. So what our plan is to continue enforcing those things that end up in our realm as criminal. We do believe very solidly that there is an element out there that are criminal vagrants. I know that there are homeless who would like help, who need help, and we have services for people like that. But for the people who have chosen to live on the streets, commit crime, deprive us of our quality of life, and do things that undermine the basic values that we stand for, we will take criminal action when we find those people. What we've been doing, and these numbers are only from March 21st, 2018 to August 31st, and the only reason that this is the data captured here is because we changed our computer tracking system in March. So this is all that we had available. But the total number of arrests in that time, I think that's about a 5-month time period, our total arrests were 1,776. Now, when we look at the number of homeless individuals that were arrested, and these are people who were identified as homeless in some of our counts, our time and place counts, we had a total of 103 homeless people that were in our city. However, the arrests generated by those people, by that 143 people, is 627. So what that means is that these 143 people are accounting for 35% of our calls for service. So that means that they're taking up 35% of our time dealing with these homeless issues, whether it's from trespassing and other minor criminal offenses that they tend to engage in. And when you look down and you look at the types of crimes that are being committed by the homeless, in this same time frame, there were 51 felonies committed, 389 misdemeanors, and 18 Upland Municipal Code violations, and 169 warrant arrests. Our enforcement efforts, as of this date, has not included a dedicated team to go out and handle some of these issues. We had to disband the community response team, but we're looking at reactivating a similar team to address quality of life issues. And next week, we actually have a dedicated team that's going out to address some quality of life issues in a complete enforcement and outreach effort. I mentioned collaboration earlier. We often have to look at this as a holistic ordeal. When our tools and resources run out from a criminal perspective, we have to rely on social services. We have the CRT team. We have other teams, the HOPE team with the county, and a variety of resources that offer shelter, behavioral health intervention, drug and rehab intervention, and we also work with our partners on our borders. I met just today with the Ontario Police Chief and the other chiefs on the Western region, where we discussed this issue and how it impacts all of us at each of our borders. We have to continue this collaboration piece. The reason that this is so important is because there's been recent court decisions, federal court decisions, that have made it difficult for us to, actually it's made it illegal for us to enforce municipal codes such as no sleeping in public if we don't have the ability to offer these homeless people shelter. So we have to collaborate, and these efforts have to go hand in hand. It's impossible for us to go out and enforce some of the municipal codes or criminal issues if we're not hand in hand offering assistance. The other major component of this is the community itself. We have to look at educating the community on what we can and can't do. We have to make sure that we keep the community informed of our efforts so that they know we are working hard on their behalf. And I think those numbers that I showed from that 5-month time period illustrate how active we've been and how many arrests we're actually making. We also have to make sure that the community knows that there is a part that they play. There's been an outreach effort to encourage members of the community to not donate, not contribute to the homeless through panhandling. There's been a massive outreach effort, and we want to continue that education. Just the other day, I was headed towards the freeway and saw a member of the community stop and give money to a person panhandling. These efforts by our law enforcement officers are completely undermined when these things go on. If people in their benevolent attempts to help do so in that way, it only encourages further drug use, and it encourages them to stay out on the streets if they believe that there's a benefit to it. So I encourage the members of the community, if you want to help, donate those resources to a reputable and noted charity that does work for the homeless, but do not give to them directly. That's the end of the presentation.
Thank you.